What's good, everybody? It's the Clown with Cab Show. Shout out to the Miami Heat tying this series against the Denver Nuggets 1-1. I can't believe it. I thought for sure Denver would win Game 2, but the Miami Heat just did enough to get the win. And I think Miami Heat, I really underestimated the Miami Heat because I just think some of the role players I didn't think could really compete against the Denver Nugget role players. But, in Game 2, it was Gabe Vincent. He was the X factor for the Miami Heat. And really, this guy, Gabe, dude, and a lot of people never really talked to him during the regular season. He wasn't really on ESPN all that much, but I'm telling you what, he brings it in and out, dude. He's from a small college, UCSB. Really never heard of them, right? But this game, he snapped off in Game 2, went for 23, and that's what he needed. It's crazy. I mean, the Miami Heat, they have it. Jimmy Butler really didn't have the best game that we're used to seeing, right? We're used to seeing Jimmy buckets continue to get buckets, but this game, it was a little bit different, even though he hit a couple big threes in the fourth quarter in Game 2, which was huge for the Miami Heat. I just think I'm looking at Denver right now, and I'm looking at him and saying, wow, 14 turnovers? There is no excuse for that. No wonder the Denver Nuggets lost. You guys, 14 turnovers. Obviously the Miami Heat, they had a lot too. They had 11 turnovers. Didn't help that much. But I just think for the Denver Nuggets, they beat themselves. And I understand I'm trying to give Miami Heat a lot of respect, but it was more of the Denver Nuggets beating themselves than the Miami Heat winning in Game 2. And yes, Denver was up 6 at half. And for the Miami Heat, it was just like, what are you guys, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. They started to turn around, and then in the fourth quarter, they flipped the switch. And I'm looking at Denver and saying, Jokic needs to play every single minute. When Jokic came out, I think it was the end of the third quarter, into the fourth, that's when the Heat started to make a run. It was crazy. And I'm looking at the head coach for Denver and saying, look, Jokic, this is the NBA Finals here. I don't care. Rest. There is no rest. We're playing for a championship here. He has to play every single second. So when they took him out, I was like, oh no, do not take Jokic out in the fourth quarter. I don't care if it's for a 2-minute rest. No, it's not worth it. It's not worth 2 minutes and the Heat go on a crazy run. All of a sudden they're up by 9 or 10. And crazy. Yes, they came back. Jamal Murray hit some big shots in the fourth quarter, missed the game tying to go into overtime 3 at the end of the fourth quarter. But I'm not blaming it all on Jamal Murray or Jokic. I mean, Jokic is doing his thing. I mean, he snapped off for 41 points, dude. 41 and 11 boards. Like, what more do you want him to do? And we have to give it up to K-Love. He had 10 boards, which was really huge. And then Jimmy Butler had 9 assists. So that was big as well. And Jamal Murray went off. But I just think for Denver, I think they got to go more through Jamal Murray. Yes, and I understand Jokic is at the post. He's doing his thing down there. But for the Denver Nuggets to really take over the series, Jamal Murray's got to go have the green light every single play. And I just think some possessions for the Denver Nuggets, they kind of flaw out here. And it's just like, you can't do that. This is the NBA Finals, dude. You guys can't have dumb possessions. And we have Denver Nuggets. Caldwell Pope did not play well this game. I mean, had a couple of terrible three-point fouls here. It's like, dude, they're putting up these crazy threes with like 2 or 3 seconds on the shot clock left. Don't even try to block it, dude. It's not even worth it. And Caldwell Pope probably gave up 6+ points from being dumb, just fouling the three-point shooter. Just stupid. It's 6 points they gave up right there. Not to mention, the 14 turnovers. So I think Denver shot themselves in the foot. I think they will bounce back. But this was a huge victory for the Miami Heat. Obviously, I picked Denver in 5 or 6. It's looking more towards 6 or 7 games right now. But for the Miami Heat, dude, they just Eric Spoelstra. There's something about the Miami Heat. They have the experience. They understand when the LeBron and D-Wade and those guys were there. They won 2 championships in Miami. Should have won 4. But, Spoelstra, he's been around the block. He understands certain situations like this. He understands big game. Understands, hey, we need to hit the big 3. Shout out to David Robinson coming in off the bench for the Miami Heat. I mean, that was huge as well. I think he has a green light, dude. And I think the Miami Heat right now, they have the momentum, which is scary because I picked Denver. But right now, it's not looking so good. And David Robinson off the bench, 10 points. Crazy, 2 for 3 from the three-point line, which is pretty great. And then Strauss, 14 points. Adebayo had 21 and 9, which is great. But I'm looking at Miami saying, hey, Tyler Hero's supposed to come back in Game 3. That is huge. They need somebody like Tyler Hero. And if Tyler Hero's on his P's and Q's, creating shots, separation off the dribble, hitting his threes, I can see the Miami Heat now flipping the switch, flipping the script, and winning this NBA championship and winning it in 6 or 7 games, which is insane, right? I never thought I'd say the Miami Heat, an 8 seed, would win the NBA championship, but it's possible. But I just think for Denver, dude, it's got to be the role players. Michael Porter Jr. did not show up in Game 2 whatsoever. Was a no-show. I'm kind of like, holy cow. And then you got, Green coming off the bench. Jeff Green, he had a decent game, but really some dumb fouls too. I just think, Denver's bench right now is not looking so good. It's really not compared to the Miami Heat. Miami Heat's ready to play, and all the momentum right now is definitely with the Miami Heat. Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. So shout out to Eric Spoelstra on the Miami Heat right now. And Jimmy Butler, he's due for a 30-plus point game here. So it's like, dude, when is Jimmy Butler going to snap off? Is it going to be a Game 3 in Miami? Probably. I would definitely put money on that to say, hey, Jimmy Butler more than likely going to snap for 30-plus, dude. He's due. He is due. This isn't like the Jimmy Butler we're used to seeing, dude. Like, Jimmy Butler had 21 and 9, and I'm over here saying 21's not enough. For Jimmy Buckets, dude, it's 30-plus. 30-plus here. Kevin Love, 6 points. It was just enough. The Miami Heat, they played the better defense, man. And like I said, Gabe Vincent, he was their X factor for the Miami Heat. This guy, I've really never heard of him up until this point, up until the NBA playoffs. I was like, dude, who is Gabe Vincent? This guy's a hustler. He's got great IQ of the game, and he loves to shoot, and he's not afraid, and he can take the open shot and hit the open shot. So, Gabe Vincent, man, he's a gamer. He really is. And then you got Caleb Martin as well. Only 3 points in Game 2, but he's that energy spark guy, But I just think Tyler Hero will fit in great. They need Tyler Hero for Game 3, and I wouldn't be surprised if Tyler Hero does come back in Game 3, if not Game 4, but he's due. He's been out for about, 7 or 8 weeks now, recovering from that broken hand, but I think, if the Heat do get Tyler Hero back, I do think that he can really overtake this series here, but I think the X factor overall is Jokic. Everything is ran through Jokic for the Denver Nuggets. You have to. 41-plus points, dude. 41 in Game 2, and they still lose. That is crazy, right? But I think you got to run through the offense through Jokic and Murray. And Murray kind of cold here and there, but I just think Murray's got to have the green light. If I'm the head coach of the Denver Nuggets, I'm saying, Murray, I want you to shoot and shoot and shoot. I don't care. Obviously, some of the shots that you're going to take are going to be bad shots. You're human. You're going to make mistakes. You don't want to be the coach and always minimizing your players off simple mistakes. Yes, you're going to make mistakes, but it's like you're going to bounce back. When you got players playing for you and they're always nervous or, oh, I can't make a mistake, coach is going to take me out, they're not going to play to their 100%. Okay, so I think that's what Eric Spoelstra does great. You're going to make mistakes. That's fine. But just play your 100%, dude. Don't be nervous. Don't be, one mistake, coach is going to take me out of the game. No, it's not like that here, okay? And I think that's why the Miami Heat are so good right now. They just have that team chemistry, and they have that flow, and Tyler Hero coming back is going to be absolutely huge for the Miami Heat. But Game 3, I can't wait till that happens. But I could definitely see the series going 7, even though I picked Denver in 6. But I still think Jamal Murray's due for a big game. Just the Denver bench did not really show up in Game 2. It's compared to Game 1. I think they rode the momentum wave in Game 1. In Game 2, the Heat really was just around, okay? And we saw in the second quarter where Denver could have really ran away with this. Up 15, like they could have went up 20 at half, and it closed down to 6. Miami got it within 6 at half, and I said, this is not looking good for Denver. Already a 6-point game, and you guys were just up 15 a couple possessions ago? But that's basketball now. Basketball is just transcended so much. It's a 3-point shooting contest almost now, where it's just like, a 10-point lead is really like, one possession game in football. In NFL, it's just like, oh, you're up 7, a touchdown, whoop-de-doo. You know what I mean? Like, that's 10 points in the NBA. So, and we've seen it. They were up, the Miami Heat's up 9 or 10 points with 3 minutes to go in the fourth. And what do you know? Denver gets it within 3 points, one shot away from tying it and going to overtime. So, just the NBA is just, the flow of the game is so different now. Everything's more fast-paced. Everything's, hey, let's chuck up a 3 and just hope that it goes in. We don't have to play as much defense, but I think that what separates the Miami Heat from the rest of the pack right now is their offense right now. They slow it down. They say, hey, we're going to make you play defense. We're going to make you play defense for 20-plus seconds every possession. Whereas we see a lot of these teams, they come down the court and five seconds and chuck up a three, chuck up a contested bad shot. The Miami Heat tend to not do that. They tend to take good shots. They tend to work the ball, make you play defense to whereas the fourth quarter comes around, Denver's already pretty tired, from playing defense the whole game. Where, 15, 20 plus seconds into the shot clock. I think that is huge for the Miami Heat. So don't take that for granted whatsoever. But the Denver Nuggets, they got to make adjustments. They cannot take bad defensive plays, dude. You can't just, yes, you can contest a 3-point shooter, but it's just like, dude, you can't get right in his face like that. They're gonna flop and they're gonna get the call. It's just how it is. You're going to get the call. If you're a 3-point shooter and you get hit barely, not even get hit, you can fake it. And more times than not, they're going to call the foul. So it's just like, dude, just put the hand in the face. That's it. Don't touch his body. Don't let him land on your body to make contact. It's just simple basketball 101. And we saw the Denver Nuggets did not follow the simple defensive skills 101 that you learned in first grade, dude. When they first teach you basketball and how to play defense, dude, it's just like you got to just stay in front of your guy, dude. It's that simple, but we make it so much complicated. But I just think Denver Nuggets shot themselves in the foot, making too many ill-advised, stupid, dumb decisions. It's like, really, dude? Like, these are elementary mistakes that you guys are making, and you're continuing to make them throughout the game. So when Miami kept getting fouled on 3, I was like, dude, this is a recipe for disaster. Miami's going to steal game 2, go into game 3 in Miami, tied up 1-1. Who would have thought the NBA Finals would have done this? I thought for sure Denver would be up 2-0 going into Miami where they could afford to lose 1 or 2 there. Now they can't. So all the pressure's on Denver Nuggets right now. They're favored to win it. They got Jokic, the number 1 seed. They have to win game 3. They don't want to go down 2-1 in Miami, playing in Miami in game 4. You just don't want to do that if you're the Denver Nuggets. You don't. So the Miami Heat right now, they're looking nice. Shout out to Jimmy Butler, Coach Spoelstra. They're looking nice, but I'm still going with my prediction. I'm still taking the Denver Nuggets in 6, if not 7 games. I still like Jokic, dude. Run through the offense, and I think Murray's due for a big game. I think a lot of the bench from Denver is due for a big game as well. They're just getting outplayed here. They really are. So I just think, Bruce Brown's going to have to give him a boost here. You just got to. And Aaron Gordon as well, he's got to step up. So, there's some players here where they just haven't stepped up that much in game 2. And they had to pay the ultimate price to take the L. But I think this series right now, it's looking like, it kind of reminds me of a flow back in 2016 when the Cleveland Cavaliers went down 3-1 against the Golden State Warriors. And we remember that. LeBron came back, the only team ever down 3-1 in the NBA Finals history to win it all, which is crazy. But I could see this series kind of shifting that way in a way. But I ultimately think it would probably go 7 games, but I can't wait. I'm still going the Denver Nuggets. I'm still going with the better team, Jokic, all the way, baby. It's the Cloud with Cab show. Let's go!